welcome to There Will Be Experts. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
I'm tired. I'm so we just recorded more of our Dark Souls Let's Plays, and Jesus Christ, like...
That was a fantastic video.
If we sound just, like, mentally drained and I just sound, like, depressed and defeated, it's because Dark Souls just had its way with me over and over and over again.
And I was there watching, filming. It was great. It was a good time. It was
like jovial, having a good time after I died the first couple times in the boss fight, but after a point, it's just like me just going like, mother, frick, for just like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was great. I'm going to guess, should be Saturday at latest that's up. I'm shooting for Friday evening.
Dark Souls Part 10, definitely check it out. Alright, we've got quite a bit on the agenda to get through today, so I don't know to what extent I'm going to be doing lightning round. Probably not much, because we never really do. We did it like good one time, a long time ago.
We've been under an hour each time lately, though. That's
true. We've been doing...
Although our 30-minute podcast went 45 minutes, so for the Halloween special.
Yeah, gosh, Ron. All right, we're going to start the movie news. First up, this was a cool news story that I wanted to plug as much as possible because it's such a great cause, but people might have been seeing it pop up around Twitter and Facebook, but hashtag Force for Daniel has been going pretty much all over all the social medias and for a good cause. Basically, Daniel Fleetwood is a gigantic Star Wars fan, and he is unfortunately suffering from a rare form of cancer, and he is terminally ill. He has basically, along with the help of some of the cast of Star Wars The Force Awakens, kind of been championing an opportunity for him to see the movie early.
Yes.
J.J. Abrams famously did this in a similar situation before. A big Trekkie was also terminally ill and requested to see Star Trek Into Darkness a few months early before it was scheduled to launch, and he did show him the movie early. So, hashtag Force for Daniel. Mark Hamill and John Boyega of the cast have been, putting up as much as they can. So, if in any way, shape, or form you can help out just by doing a simple retweet or favoriting, just getting the word out as much as possible. I'm sure Abrams has already seen this, and he seems like a genuinely good dude. So.
Yeah, that's what just about everybody that has met him says about him.
So yeah,
he's a pretty good dude.
I just wanted to start with that just to make sure that I know we have no fans, but if anyone at all listen to it, definitely go, help this good cause. But yeah, that wasn't the only Force Awakens news that was popping up recently. We actually did get today new character posters, which were fucking awesome. I encourage you to, if you just probably Google Star Wars posters and go to the most recent Google News, they'll pop up. But they were each one of the cast members with their weapon of choice covering up their right eye. And the coolest ones were the Han Solo one with the blaster. Somehow Harrison Ford's like 85 years old and still looks like you want no part of him when he has his blaster on him. And I really, really like the Kylo Ren one. Just his mask design is really cool. I think they did a good job.
That's the Sith, right?
Yeah, I think they did a good job of like making him kind of Darth Vader-y, but it's almost its own thing at the same time. Like
it's kind of similar to what your character looks like on the Sith ending for Force Unleashed.
I think I think he let me borrow that one. It's just been so long since I've played it, I can't remember. But I remember. Yeah, the Star Killer.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I remember that.
It's kind of like his mask a little bit.
So yeah, go check those out. I have no more money to give. Abrams, quit being a selfish prick. That's all I have to say. Okay, other movie news that popped up. When did this one hit?
This one hit yesterday.
Warcraft.
We have no business looking.
We have seen 7 seconds of Warcraft. It is already the best video game movie we have ever seen.
Yes, what this was a teaser trailer for the teaser trailer that will be premiering on Friday.
So Friday is a teaser? Because I thought Friday was going to be like a full trailer.
It could be. I thought, from what I read, was going to be the first teaser trailer.
So we have a teaser, and then we're going to have a trailer teaser and then a trailer at some point.
We'll see. I'm sure if they don't put it up immediately, it will leak because BlizzCon starts Friday, right?
They've been waiting for that.
Yeah, that's where they're debuting it. This is a Wednesday night podcast, should be going up on Thursday, so Unfortunately, we won't get our reactions to the actual trailer until next week, but this teaser is damn good.
Just even if like the plot sucks, visually it is gorgeous.
It's stunning.
It is. We were talking earlier about it. It is like the game, but cooler, and somehow working in live action. Like you pointed out, it has no business working as well as it does. Especially, I love the look of the Alliance. Like every time they show any of their armies together, like the knights and stuff, like they actually showed
the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit people are the ones that design the costumes, so they did pretty damn good job.
Yeah, all the costumes that they had on display at Comic-Con were just freaking gorgeous. And yeah, I'm not even. I put in an embarrassing amount of hours into World of Warcraft.
As did I.
But this isn't like a property I'm really into anymore. But I can't wait for this movie just because it looks fantastic. Like, looks
if
great.
The action scenes are half as exhilarating as this stupid trailer. Like, I mean, the trailer opens up with a dude jumping off of a cliff and landing on a griffin's back. I mean,
cannot wait. This is coming out next year. I want to say it's towards the summertime, like maybe like July. And dude, they have my money. They got my ass.
2016 here.
They have my ass in the seat for damn sure, dude.
Yeah, no, I just cannot believe what I am seeing from
a Warcraft movie.
From a Warcraft movie. I thought, at best, it would look like a bunch of cosplayers filmed themselves with a camcorder. I had no idea that they were going to put that much money in, and I don't remember what they had. There was an article recently that said that they have dropped down to 5.5 million subscribers. I wonder after this movie how many people are going to be signing up.
And I love how they've been so successful with that game where they can say the words only 5.5 million, $15 monthly payment via subscribers.
It's like crazy.
It's insane. That mean between that and the Assassin's Creed Fassbender movie, for the love of God, let one of them be good,
dude.
We just need one.
If either one of them is successful, doesn't even necessarily have to be necessarily great.
Just moneymaker.
Just makes enough money. Then by the time Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff starts getting made, yeah, like, it's going to be fantastic.
Assassin's Creed looks good, and Warcraft looks good, and they're not even like the easy to make ones. Like Uncharted is already a movie; it's just an interactive movie.
Right.
Last of Us is similar in that it is interactive fiction.
They're very linear, more or less,
and it's not even taking anything away from it. It's just a story-driven game.
They're very story-driven and very linear, and it, like you said, it makes it play like you're controlling a movie. Whereas Assassin's Creed and World of Warcraft, especially World of Warcraft, is just kind of run around, just dick around, do whatever you want to do, kind of thing. It's. I don't even know what to say.
I can't wait for the trailer.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the first things we'll talk about next week. But.
Who knew we'd be fucking talking about a Warcraft movie when we started doing this, dude?
Duncan Jones, I just remember the name of the director. He's David Bowie's kid. He did Moon, which is a movie I think you would really like. It's Sam Rockwell, and he's on a lunar space station type thing by himself, and the only other character in the movie is his AI voiced by Kevin Spacey. It's a very, very good movie that I recommend people to check out.
So it's the Martian with Jarvis.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Jarvis is Paul Bettany.
No, I know, but
Sam Rockwell is it Hammer? Was that who was in Iron Man 2? So people know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I hope you know who Kevin Spacey is. So it sucks that it's taken this long for video game movies to finally be ostensibly taken seriously, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer. This is another one that's a little bit more up Ron's alley, I think, than mine. But Power Rangers, we reported a few weeks ago on, I forget which Ranger, but they had started their casting then. They've apparently wrapped their casting now for the Rangers. Would you like to provide any more details on? I think it was a bunch of basically no names, right?
Yeah, they basically just went for a whole bunch of people no one's ever heard of, which honestly would be the way to go with this kind of property. I'm just going to pull it up on IMDb because the Nerdist article we pulled up to have ready only has Yellow Ranger.
You have failed me, Nerdists. Chris Hardwick, you prick.
Okay, so we got Naomi Scott as the Pink Ranger. We got RJ, is that Siler for the Blue Ranger, which he's a black dude, and he's Blue Ranger this time. We're not having the black guy as the Black Ranger, it doesn't look like. Becky G is going to be Trini, which is the Yellow Ranger. I almost read Zach Taylor. Yeah, that is the character, not the actor. Ludi Lin is the Black Ranger. And I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Daker? I don't know. D-A-C-R-E. How would you say that?
Let me see. I have to be...
Red Ranger at the bottom. Something Montgomery.
Yeah, I've no freaking...
D. Montgomery.
Decker, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never seen that name in my life before.
Yeah, so he's going to be Jason. Already some harsh criticism on Jason from Phil, our buddy Phil, who...
What did he have to say?
Is even more into Power Rangers than I am.
Well, why isn't he here frickin' Philip? Special Power Ranger correspondent.
Basically, but he won't come on the show. I've tried many times. Yeah, basically, I sent him a picture of D. Montgomery, and
D. Montgomery.
I said, "Here's your Red Ranger," and he basically just texts back, "That's no Red Ranger."
No, not in Philip's house.
Yeah, basically. So, I love how they consider this. All articles say we've cast all the Rangers, but the Rangers are nothing without Zordon. And I am really curious. To me, Zordon is such a key character that is in it so little that you could go with a known name.
Is he the like floating face?
Yes, inside the cryotube. Well, it's actually a time warp, but yeah, there I went. Geeking out on my Power Rangers. I want Vincent D'Onofrio playing the Kingpin. He probably wouldn't actually be a bad.
He looks kind of like him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like
he
when he's in
does.
his Kingpin look.
Yeah. That, and assuming the villain is Rita Repulsa, I'd be curious to know who's going to be playing Rita and Goldar.
See, I only watched it in my childhood, so I vaguely know who you're talking about. But I couldn't believe until we talked about earlier today how horribly racially insensitive. It was like mighty.
The Asian is the Yellow Ranger. When we've got the black guy is the Black Ranger. And then Red Ranger, who knows? Everyone is part Indian, and then, so you might as well throw that in. And then, if you want to be sexist too, the girliest girl on the team is the Pink Ranger.
So now, well, at least with this new casting, they're like more of like the mighty progressive Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know if this, like, I get the feeling this is going to be one of those movies that, like,
the guy that's going to be the Blue Ranger is very Urkel looking. So I really hope we don't have Steve Urkel for the Blue Ranger since he's the brainy one.
I'm still of the opinion, I think this movie's going to be in development hell and never see the light of day.
I don't know, dude. Naomi Scott is definitely hot enough to be the Pink Ranger, though. I will give her that. Well,
what was funny is, like, she was the most known name, and she was, like, in The Martian for, like, 3 seconds. I'll be watching Power Rangers.
I'd be the Green Ranger just for her. Yeah.
Yep. You got me.
See, that's the other thing, too, that disappoints me. Before we move on, I told Philip that I was betting what they would do is go straight for the whole team of 6 in this movie. So if they're saying they concluded casting the Power Rangers, then we have no Green Ranger, which means potentially no Dragon Zord.
When did they do 5 and when did they do 6 in layman's
It
terms?
Was all in Mighty Morphin, I believe, the first season. About halfway through, they had the Green Ranger saga, where they all get their powers from a power coin given to them by Zordon. One of the power coins had been stolen eons ago by Rita, and she put Tommy under a spell and gave him the Green Ranger power coin, and he was the villain during that saga. And then they broke the spell on him, and he still had his power, and then for whatever reason, like either at the end of that season or the next one, she gets the bright idea, if I gave him his power, I can just take it away. And she links his power to a candle and burns the candle, and then he's powerless.
I didn't remember any of this happening.
Yeah, and they since they needed a sixth Ranger, that's how the White Ranger came about. Zordon and Alpha created a brand new power coin.
Did he ever get his powers back?
Yep, they created a brand new power coin, gave it to him, and he became the White Ranger.
Okay. That's vaguely...
Yeah, that was at the time that they had the Thunder Zords. He came back with the White Tiger Zord.
Okay. Now that I have a nosebleed from all of this Power Rangers exposition, we're going to move over to the comic book section of the movie news. And first up is, I cannot freaking wait for Lego Batman, dude. I am more excited
Did you ever think you'd live in a world where you'd say that?
I don't even like Legos, dude, but it was like the Lego movie completely sold me on all of their Lego shit. Because literally they had my ass in the seat as soon as I read the words Will Arnett returning as Batman. Because I've been on record, other than Kevin Conroy, I think Will Arnett is my favorite Batman. The new news for Lego Batman was Ray Fiennes will be appearing as... No, it's Ray. That's actually how you pronounce his name.
Is it?
Yeah, Ray Fiennes is how you pronounce his name.
It's Ralph.
It's spelled Ralph, but he actually does pronounce his name Ray.
Hey, I don't care, it's Ralph. This is America, goddammit. That is Ralph.
This is America, goddammit. We'll pronounce your fucking name however we want to.
Exactly.
He will be playing Alfred. That is awesome casting.
If you don't know who Fiennes is, R. Fiennes. If you don't know who R. Fiennes is, Voldemort. He who shall not be named because he pronounced Ralph fucking Ray.
V-Mort. He is playing Alfred. We recently, maybe as soon as as recently as the most recent episode we did, Rosario Dawson is Batgirl, Michael Cera is Robin, Zach Galifianakis is the Joker, and of course Will Arnett is returning as Batman. So, awesome casting.
Dead parents.
I love how they were able, in the Lego one, like every casting choice, everyone was like, hey, that's really cool. Everyone in the Snyderverse, it was just like an internet bloodbath every time someone was announced. So yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But speaking of the Snyderverse, the Batfleck movie, the first solo one.
Yes.
My interest level jumped even more so after reading this. Under the Red Hood is something that we are so invested in. We even did an hour and a half commentary of.
Yes, we did.
And now it is being reported that the solo Batman movie, directed by Ben Affleck and written and directed by Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns, will be following the story of Under the Red Hood, which is something I've been asking for freaking ever.
Do you think that's due to Arkham Knight? The popularity of Arkham Knight?
I think it's...
Spoilers for Arkham Knight, by the way. If you don't already know.
I think it's partially that, and also they might have even had that in the back of their mind when they set up Batman v Superman, because one of the first things you see is the Joker costume with the ha 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 written all over it in spray paint.
And you and I were like, God, I hope that means Under the Red Hood sometime in the future, and then we're like, it'll never happen.
And out of the the really famous Batman storylines, that's the easiest one to set up when they have old Batman.
And Death in the Family is one of the more popular comic book lines too, right?
Yeah, Death in the Family is the one where Jason Todd is crowbarred and blown up. And
sounds like a great time.
And he actually did, shockingly for comic perspective, he actually did stay dead for 20 years. That never happens. Usually they're back in a year, if even that long. So. I loved the way they brought him back, and usually I am one of the opinion you kind of cheapen the whole medium when you do kill them and bring them back, but the Under the Red Hood storyline amplified the storyline in a good way.
Yeah, it was fairly intense the way everything was done in Under the Red Hood, so I am very excited about this.
And it is one of the easiest ones to set up because that single shot of a Robin costume in the trailer covered in ha-ha-ha Joker spray paint is all you know.
And now we know it's always been theorized by the tinfoil hat people on the internet that is probably in his mind, the way that he's just seeing it as he's looking at the costume. It doesn't actually look like that. I'm willing to bet that that's not the case at all now that they've announced this.
Yeah, I think even I had talked about that when we first watched it. It was in his head.
You usually don't get the tinfoil hat thing going.
I had it that time.
Yeah.
I cannot freaking wait. We don't have confirmation yet of this, but Jeff Johns helped write the Arkham Knight stuff. Actually,
well, there you go.
So it A plus B looks like it's equaling C with this, but I mean,
that was some weird math you just did.
It's algebra, bitch.
Iron Golem fuck you up that much.
Basically.
We're
not talking about that anymore. We have a little bit more of the Snyderverse to talk about, and that is that Nicole Kidman has reportedly been added to the Wonder Woman cast.
And we said who?
The speculation is that she's going to be playing Wonder Woman's mother.
That's what I was thinking.
Hippolyta, I think is how you pronounce her name.
That's I didn't know what else you would get her for.
It works because they're all basically immortal. It doesn't matter that she's not, like, dramatically older than, the actress who's Wonder Woman. I'm blanking on her name. Gal Gadot.
Yes.
So, I think that'd be a good choice. I am not, like, the world's biggest Nicole Kidman fan, but I think it'd be a good choice for, specifically her mother. And the ones I'm really, really hoping that they will confirm are Sean Bean as Ares and Ava Green as Cersei. Because that will go a long way of making me even more interested in it. I think that's it for the DC stuff. We're going to move over to Marvel now, and the first one is, this is coming out the week after Halloween, and if you did not see the Ryan Reynolds viral Halloween Deadpool thing he made, I don't know who all was involved in this, if it was just Ryan Reynolds, just dicking around, or if he actually had help with, like, some of the people making the movie, because I believe he actually launched it on his own, YouTube account.
Oh, yeah?
So
that part I didn't realize.
This could have been just, all Ryan Reynolds. I don't know, but it is fantastic. Definitely go to YouTube and search Ryan Reynolds Deadpool Halloween. It's hilarious. Like, what's funny is that, people like to speculate the most on Batman v Superman and Civil War and Apocalypse next year of the comic book movies. I think there's a good chance I end up liking this one better than any of them is Deadpool. Because that trailer... That trailer out of any of them sells the character the best. And it was so funny. He's basically, I love how they bleep all of the curse words too as he's cussing out all the children at the Halloween thing.
I still don't get why Diggle's costume is red in this.
Oh, Arrow, how the mighty have fallen.
I love that kid's face. Oh, God. Yes, please go to YouTube and watch this.
And...
Sorry. I couldn't help it.
He hands a child one of his combat knives and starts pushing her in the swing. And that's all you...
and starts pushing
and that's all you need to know.
Oh, my God.
All right, we've got next up one last bit of Marvel movie news, and this one... I think pretty much at this point, every female in Hollywood has been speculated for this role, it seems, and that is Captain Marvel. We've heard Ronda Rousey like 7,000 times.
Not just Hollywood, because Ronda Rousey.
What was her... blinking on her name. I'm blinking on all the names. Freaking Dark Souls just fried my brain. What's the name of Furiosa? She was up...
Charlize Theron?
Yeah, she was actually considered for it.
I never heard that one.
I think she was one of the very...
I think you got that from Iron Golem tonight.
No, she was legitimately like...
Was she really?
One of the first things they were talking about was it was going to be Charlize Theron starring as Captain Marvel and it directed by Angelina Jolie. When they first announced the movie...
That does not sound like a good movie at all.
Yeah, I like Charlize Theron, but I'm not a big Angelina Jolie fan.
Yeah, I don't... I like Charlize Theron, but I don't think I'd like her for that role.
And the most current name to pop up for it that has
all over this.
That has the best chance of happening.
Not just because of the actress, but
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
And when it was brought up to Jennifer Lawrence, I forget where, but she was at some appearance, and it was brought up to her, and she basically said like, "Oh, I'm all over that." So Jennifer Lawrence is so A-list and so recognizable right now. She's basically the Chris Pratt of actresses at the moment. She's incredibly popular. Everyone wants her in everything. She is one of the few actresses now who Hollywood has no issue headlining basically anything with because of the Hunger Games.
Right.
So pretty much all that has to happen is for her to say, "I'm on board," because she's at this moment one of the last A-list actors not wrapped up in Marvel.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was reported via Comic Book Resources, just to give them their due respect on their announcement. And I think we're going to move over to the TV portion of the podcast today.
I am okay with this next story.
So, Netflix, when they recently, in the past year or so, announced all of their Marvel projects, it was always going to be Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Well, it's been kind of odd that they've already started filming Luke Cage. I think they just started in the last couple of weeks. And we still don't even have an actor chosen for Iron Fist. Well, it looks like there might be a good reason for that, because reportedly they are wanting to, I think they are wanting to maybe make a movie with Iron Fist, which I don't see them.
Well, what I read was like a TV movie on Netflix,
which I would still watch.
I would still watch, but it wasn't going to be like a big blockbuster AAA title in the MCU on silver screen. It was going to be like a made-for-TV movie on Netflix, which could still be good. And if I hope they do that with something, just anything, because maybe then they'll finally start bringing in Ghost Rider and Blade, because they got
Ghost Rider and Blade are just sitting there ready to be used.
So maybe do it with Iron Fist, see how it goes, and then we'll get in Ghost Rider or something.
It probably depends on how much of a budget they're talking, because Iron Fist isn't a draw as much as Ghost Rider.
They can put in as much as they want.
They can, but he isn't as much of a draw as Ghost Rider or Blade. So if they're sitting there and they want to make the movie, they might just say, we're going to skip Iron Fist and go straight to Blade, because it's been shown to be a moneymaker already.
I don't know. I think after the success of Daredevil, Jessica Jones looks like it's going to be really good. And after anything else they do, Luke Cage, Punisher, whatever else, people at that point might just be like, "Oh, they have another one. Let's check it out." I don't think it's going to matter at that point what it is.
And their original slot of making Iron Fist the last TV show is looking like it's going to be replaced by Bernthal's Punisher, which...
Fuck yes.
I'm intrigued by Iron Fist, but I'm all over the Punisher with John
Honestly,
Bernthal.
I had no idea who Iron Fist was until they announced that. I do not remember him in anything.
He's one of those kind of like Ghost Rider for me, who I'm familiar with the character, but I've never gone out of my way to read him. Mm-hmm. So I am not very much more into the story material than you are.
But I say... yes on this, and then bump Punisher up to be after Jessica Jones.
See, I'm actually kind of intrigued by Luke Cage, because they're
don't know anything about Luke Cage.
They're setting him. Well, you're going to be seeing him in Jessica Jones quite a bit. So
all the more reason to bump Punisher up. I'm already getting some Luke Cage.
I mean, I want to see Punisher too, but they've already started Luke Cage, so you're getting Luke Cage, dude. You're not getting Punisher yet. We're going to move over to some other comic-related TV, but a little bit more out of left field compared to the typical superhero stuff we get, and that is Preacher, which we have talked about, I think, once or twice before.
I think just the announcement and the poster.
And that ominous, amazing poster of the upside-down church.
Which is looking like, at the end of this trailer, is probably going to be the end of the title sequence.
They premiered during the most recent episode of The Walking Dead the first full trailer. It wasn't a teaser. It was actually about a minute and a half trailer. You get a lot of Dominic Cooper, most probably recognizable as Howard Stark now.
Yes.
He is playing Jesse Custer, the lead, and it is every bit as dark and fucked up as you would think it would be if you are familiar with the source material at all. And what's interesting about this is I've actually read about 2/3 of the way through the comic. None of this is in the comic.
Really?
But it all conveys the comic. It was kind of ballsy because
this trailer did a really good job in one trailer. What they took a few trailers to do with Jessica Jones, and that is the character. You are familiar with the tone of the show and the character all in one trailer.
And Dominic Cooper, if you've ever seen him in anything dark, he's really good at playing likable like Howard Stark. But
I only know him as Howard Stark.
That guy
I'm aware of. I might not have remembered him until Howard Stark. I might have seen him in something else, but
he might even be better at playing darker roles. He I think was a fantastic choice for that role. I cannot wait for this. All we know is coming in 2016, and you speculated that since Better Call Saul is coming back for, you said February?
Yes.
So
which I cannot wait for that show either.
Oh, I know. I freaking love Saul. So Saul, was Saul 13, or was it how many episodes was Saul season 1?
I think it was 13.
Or maybe 10. Did they go to full 13? I didn't think it went to full 13.
No, they didn't go full. It might have been 8 or 10.
Yeah, I want to say 8 or 10. So if you give them a couple of months, starting in February. We're probably looking at Preacher around May, maybe late April, depending on 10. Okay, so yeah, probably early summertime, and I cannot freaking wait.
And it is slated for 13 in season 2.
AMC has really done a good job of in the wake of losing Breaking Bad, like popping up more stuff to fill out their schedule. They've done a good job.
This looks amazing. We don't have this in our notes, but I also want to just say Into the Badlands has me hooked just on their trailer too, which I didn't understand in the most recent Walking Dead either. They said the premiere of the trailer for Into the Badlands, also they premiered it, but they premiered it like a week or two earlier. It was the same trailer, I thought.
Was it? I still haven't seen the quote-unquote new one.
Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, no, I am looking forward to both of these shows. AMC, they're bringing it, man.
Well, Fear the Walking Dead notwithstanding.
Well, yeah.
Although you still haven't seen it, it did actually get quite a bit better.
I'm still the 4th episode's my next one. I'm still halfway through it.
It's the 5th and 6th one is when it finally, like, if they had just, for whatever reason, not decided to do that dumbass hour-and-a-half premiere that just totally grinds all interest you can possibly have in that show, because it was so fucking boring.
Not just Fear the Walking Dead, but anything Walking Dead related has been doing a lot more hour-and-a-half stuff. The premiere to Fear the Walking Dead was hour and a half. The premiere this season for Walking Dead was hour and a half. And then they did Morgan's as an hour and a half.
And I think the season finale for Fear the Walking Dead might have been hour and a half as well.
They've been doing that a lot more than what they used to.
AMC, I mean, that ad money they get off that, they will let them do it for 3 hours, dude, because people would watch 3 hours of Walking Dead.
I would.
The first 3 episodes of the season of The Walking Dead, if they played that, as a big movie, like, they would crush on their ratings.
If nothing else, those first 2, they could have, because that was fucking intense.
Yeah, AMC is freaking bringing it, like you said. So look for Preacher, watch the trailer on YouTube, and look for that coming out next summer. Another TV show possibly coming out later on next year in 2016 is Star Trek, making its 10-year absence finally coming back to television, which is crazy, because you had actually not even realized they didn't have a TV show currently. Is that right?
I thought it was still on. I had no idea they were off of TV.
Last one was Star Trek Enterprise, which ran from either 2000 or 2001 until 2005, which for Star Trek terms is a very, very short run, because after the original one...
It was all too long for me.
They all had, I think Next Generation lasted 9 or 10 seasons.
I did not care for Star Trek at all until Abrams got his hands on it.
Yeah, it was... which is one of the things that might work for this, because... we've seen what you can do with special effects on a cheap budget with, The Flash.
Right.
So right now, you can do more with a cheaper budget, like a TV budget, than you ever could before.
Yeah.
So a big reason Star Trek was the way it was is they would tell you it was because, we want to be the intellectual version of Star Wars. That may be true in some cases, but they had shoestring budgets for the most part.
They had papier-mâché rocks.
There was... only so much you can do when William Shatner is having to fight papier-mâché rock monsters.
Yeah.
And Star Trek The Next Generation had pretty good special effects for the time, but if you watch that now, it's like watching Atari, it's sad how little budget they had for it. So I'm intrigued by this if they're able to make it a little bit more Abrams-y, I guess.
And is one of the writers or producers from the Abrams stuff involved?
I think it was Kurtzman, they're usually together. Kurtzman and Orty are the two dudes who did Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 scripts. I think they helped with at least one, if not both, of the Abrams Star Trek movies. They've also been attached with the Transformers Brain Trust going on right now, I believe. They're all over the place. So I think it was Kurtzman who was attached as an executive producer on this, which is a good sign. I typically like what he does. But... Here comes Here comes the negative aspect of this, and CBS. People are going to be pissed about this. CBS has restricted access to this new Star Trek show to CBS All Access, which, in layman's terms, is like CBS Netflix.
Disappointed!
So if you want to watch Star Trek, you got to shell out an extra $6 per month just to watch Star Trek.
Disappointed!
Assholes.
Yes.
My dad and brother are gigantic Trekkies, and I don't know if they've heard this or not yet, but they are going to be pissed because my dad is a giant Trekkie, and he's also incredibly cheap. So if you tell him, if you tell my dad, "Oh, you motherfuckers charge me an extra $6 just to watch my Star Trek," you go right to hell. That's how that's going to go down. But 90% to 95% of the Trekkies not insulted by that are going to hand over fist shell out their $6 per month just to watch more Star Trek. Or it will replace Game of Thrones as the most pirated TV show. One of the two, or both. Probably both. What a douchebag thing to do. That was completely unnecessary. They make it, Star Trek is so big, they would make more than enough. Who the fuck even knew CBS had their own streaming service? That's the whole point. Yeah, this has apparently been a thing. And this is probably the reason they're even making a Star Trek show is because, hey, we need to make sure people know we have an all-access Netflix pass. How is it all-access when it's $6 a month either? I don't... And think about... That's as bad as Hulu having a commercial-free option for more money a month. Oh, that... I will not pay them that off fucking principle alone. Yeah. Netflix is fucking better content on a better running application for the same price as their commercial... filled. Ugh. That pissed me off. But yeah, that's all. I could do a whole freaking Hulu podcast on how much I hate Hulu. Another UPS rant on Hulu. Yeah, fucking Hulu, fucking UPS. Think of all you get with Netflix $8 a month, and you are basically, since we didn't even know it existed, you're going to be paying $6 for just Star Trek that you don't even know is good. Yeah. In their defense, they are doing apparently the pilot on TV. Yes. But what the fuck? Just make it a regular goddamn TV show, you assholes. Ugh. Yeah, no, I don't have any words for this. I just don't. Shame. It gets all the drops. All of the shame drops. Just all of the drops. That's like shame. What? Fourth drop now. It shame. Deserves more than that, but that's all we have. We'll just use shame for the rest of the podcast. Now we just have Rimshot left, which I guess if you wanted to. Why not? Hey, Jeff. Did you hear it's $5.99 a month? Fuck you, CBS. Pretty much. All right, moving on to the next news article. And probably no more drops because I burned all of the drops. Another show making its return is Twin Peaks. Well, it was. But unfortunately, that is no longer happening in 2016. It is happening in 2017. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, have you ever watched it? I haven't. All I hear is the first season's amazing, and then stop immediately because the second season ruins it. So kind of like Arrow, skip 1, go to 2, and then quit watching. See, I don't even know if I would say skip 1 and Arrow. Definitely season 2 is better, but for the love of God, stop after season 2. I have no basis. I have never even seen an episode of Twin Peaks. I do know people are nuts for People are show. Nuts for it. It has like a big cult following. What it reminds me of is kind of like Evil Dead. Okay. And how it has like it's kind of people who are into it are obsessed with it, but it's never been the type of thing like Star Trek to kind of like hit the masses yet, which they're wanting to bring it back. It looks like they got most of the original cast back for it. So I mean, if I see like stuff for it and it looks good, I'd be willing to. I think it's even on Netflix, like the first season. Is it? I'd be intrigued in watching it. It's, from what I hear, kind of up our alley. It's kind of crazy. What the fuck's going on? Surreal special effects for like the camera work and stuff like that. So okay. I'd be interested in at least giving it a couple episodes to see what I think about it. But it probably is going to be dated because it was low budget, late 80s. So. Really? I didn't realize it was that old. Maybe early 90s, but I do remember my parents being really, really into it when I was young, so it was maybe like more like 91, 93, in that range. So looks like we're going to have to wait a bit longer for Twin Peaks, so that gives us time to have it sit in our Netflix purgatory list that never gets used. Another show that might be coming up even before Twin Peaks, the way it's looking, is Syfy is adapting Van Helsing, which is intriguing. I'm okay with this. It's
that movie was a really cool movie because one, it was Stephen Sommers, and two, you got more Kate Beckinsale and Hugh Jackman.
Not even just Kate Beckinsale, but more Kate Beckinsale in leather, which is always a plus. Thank you, Underworld.
Three, it's not really a character that anyone cares a whole lot about, so if it's fucked up, they're just like, eh.
Yeah, they have nothing really to lose by
exactly.
attempting it. See, I saw it when I was... What did that movie come out, like 2004 or something like that?
Something like that.
Early 2000s, so
yeah.
I barely remember it, because I think I only saw it maybe once or twice.
I own it, and I've seen it several times, so...
I remember liking it when I was younger. It's been so long.
Here's the thing. I know we didn't have this mark to go in depth on, but here's the thing that I love about that movie, and I hope Syfy Channel does some of this, but the werewolves. Werewolves are my favorite anything of Creature of the Night type thing, right? Any monster movie, anything, it's always werewolves. And the Wolfman, to me, is not all that terrifying, but the fucking werewolves, like the way they're done in American Werewolf in London and in Van Helsing here, is the ones that I love. And Underworld especially. That's why I love that movie franchise so much, is the way that the Lycans are done. So, yeah, as soon as I saw in the trailer that fucking werewolf in Van Helsing, I was like, I'm buying that movie. I just saw the fucking trailer. You know,
I think weren't they originally wanting to make that kind of like its own trilogy or something?
They were.
It ended up not making enough money, I think.
Yeah, for some reason, any kind of creature feature type things anymore, they just don't do that well, it seems.
Well, it's because...
I mean, like, the Wolfman was a good movie, but not a lot of people cared for it.
I think it might be one of those things where it comes back around once they have burned every superhero property they can into the ground, which we are in the middle of. Like, it's already insane how many comic book superhero movies we have coming out.
There's another Mummy movie coming with a female monster, so...
I think they were... I Frankenstein came out, and that didn't do very well either on the box office.
No, that didn't. And I watched that recently on Netflix. That's actually a pretty good movie if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. See, I've never been,
I was one of them that kind of laughed. Like, I intended to see it, though. But when I saw the trailer, I was just like, okay, that looks cool, but, I mean, come on, really? But it was actually a pretty good movie.
Was that Stephen Sommers, too?
I believe it was. I'm not 100%
He's got, like, it out for those Van Helsing-y type movies.
His dad loved those movies.
So he kind of grew up on it.
He grew up on them, and he made the Mummy trilogy. I think Van Helsing came out before the Jet Li one. But, Van Helsing, another reason I wanted to see it, and it kind of makes me sad, is his dad was dying. So... he had originally, I guess, had planned to go through all of these monsters individually, but since his dad was dying, he threw them all into one movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was how Van Helsing came about.
I never knew that. That's
he wanted to give his dad that movie before he passed on. I think he eventually did. I don't remember. I think he got to see the movie. I don't remember, though. I'm almost 100% that he did. But I thought it was really cool that those movies were for his dad, especially Van Helsing.
Yeah,
he gave his dad Kate Beckinsale. That'd make anyone happy.
That's a good thing to go out on. It's Kate Beckinsale, friggin' leather, dude. I really quickly, before we do move on, the details on the TV show they are doing is actually a little bit differently from what you're used to, and that is that they are planning...
Now that we've bumped up Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale, they have nothing to do with this TV show.
This is actually focusing on the daughter of Van Helsing, Vanessa Helsing, daughter of the famous vampire hunter. She basically finds herself resurrected 5 years in the future to discover that vampires have taken over the world, so forth.
What gets me is the resurrected. Resurrected how? Is she...
I never even knew he had a daughter, so they might be making this up for the
they probably are.
Or show.
And again, it's one of those properties no one really cares about.
Go crazy. I kind of like the concept. I think it sounds cool.
I think it sounds really cool, too. And right now, one of the biggest things everybody wants is a strong female lead.
True.
So it makes sense.
True.
And I said, like you said earlier, they've got nothing to lose doing it. It's something I'm interested in. And
Syfy needs all the properties they can get going, because they don't have a lot of...
I'm curious about the word resurrected. if she is part vampire, is she basically a female Blade? Like, what does that mean? Lazarus Pits, or is she something?
No, don't, dude. Arrow, don't talk about Lazarus Pits.
I wasn't actually referring to anything specific. But.
No. Just the hearing Lazarus Pits just makes me like pissed off because of how fucking awful Arrow season 3 is. Fucking. Okay.
Constantine episode was tonight, and we're doing this instead. Apparently.
Yeah. What the fuck are we doing?
I have no idea.
Next up in the news, we're getting the shit over with. I want to go watch Constantine. Damn it. This one's going to be basically all Ron because he is more into these type of shows than I am. Jon Stewart announced he is going to be doing a at least 4-year tenure with HBO.
You always throw it to me on the stuff we have no details for.
Well, I am not into, like, I like John Oliver. I've never seen an episode of Jon Stewart show in my life. I've just never been, I've never been that interested in it.
I never watched it before him, and I've never watched it after him. I've only ever watched it when it was Jon Stewart. I just want to know how nervous John Oliver has to be. His old boss that he spun off of to get his own show on HBO is now coming to HBO.
Which, sure, does that really, like, affect him?
I don't know. It depends on what he's doing, because there's no details on what he's doing there.
Surely they're smart enough to realize that last week tonight.
I don't think it's a news thing, because he quit his show because he had been doing that thing for so long.
So it's not going to be. So yeah, it could be like completely unrelated. Like,
yeah, it could be completely unrelated, but at the same time,
what the fuck else is he going to do though?
I don't know. He was supposed to be quitting to spend more time with his family and stuff. And
I see he likes his family a whole lot. Then
he made a movie. He had taken some time off of The Daily Show to go write and direct a movie, and John Oliver had taken over, and that's when HBO, John Oliver caught their eye, because he ran The Daily Show with Jon Stewart for all summer.
Really?
One summer, yeah. And I always fucking loved John Oliver, but I didn't realize how much I loved him until he took over The Daily Show. And I was sad when Jon Stewart came back. So, Colbert is still my favorite, but John Oliver was a really close second.
And the little I've seen, John Oliver's my favorite, but he also has the advantage of being on HBO where you can say whatever he wants.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that part of it.
But yeah, so no one knows what he's doing there. I don't think it's a news show related thing. I think it's something else. I
think John Oliver's going to be completely fine, because even if it is something relatively similar...
If he hasn't spoken to John Oliver about it, how nervous would you be if you were John Oliver? Like, what the fuck are you doing here, John?
It has to be like kind of in the back of his mind, but if Stewart ends up doing anything similar to Oliver's, it will be on like if Last Week Tonight is on Sunday nights, like it would be on like Wednesday night or something. Like it would be completely
John Oliver gets Sundays and Jon Stewart's the rest of the days.
Well, you think that's another thing. Like, we don't know if this is going to be like a once a week type thing or a daily thing.
Yeah,
I would imagine since he's taken the whole agenda of wanting to not do it as much, it would be like a weekly thing. Yeah. So I think John Oliver's fine. I don't think it's going to end up affecting him.
With all of their other TV shows and movies and programming and stuff, I don't think he would have anything that was more than once a week. They've got too much shit to fit in.
HBO's insane. Speaking of insane, we're going to move over to talk about our favorite studio in the world, and that is Konami.
Yes.
Otherwise known as the Kanazis.
The Kanazis. And I don't believe...
They're so adorable.
I couldn't believe what I was reading when I read this, Jeff. Tell them what's going on.
I love that they have publicly removed Hideo Kojima's name from the covers of games that came out like 2 decades ago. And they still want to sell you. Oh, he's coming back. He's fine. It's cool, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Dude, who the hell are you kidding, Konami?
Seriously. There was even the tweets that had the pictures of Kojima's going away party.
I didn't even have that. There's like a going away cake.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure on Twitter.
You don't get a cake if they're coming back.
Why would he like, what? How? I don't even understand. How could you possibly go about publicly shaming the dude for like 6 straight months and then try to pretend, everything's cool? He's
JK.
So, okay. Konami is talking about doing future Metal Gear Solid titles post Hideo Kojima. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. The dude had been making those games for like literally 30 years.
Yeah.
Everything that has ever come from that property is basically his.
You know what? Gamers being the way they are, especially Kojima's gamers.
Oh, they are obsessed with Kojima.
It doesn't matter how good that game is. That game that they do could be 1,000 times better than anything Kojima ever did, and they will fucking hate it, and they will destroy it and tear it apart.
They've already, like, Metal Gear Solid 5, like, a lot of the complaints about it are, well, you guys are just pushing Kojima out the door. It was, like, all anti-Konami.
Yeah.
Before he had even left, and he was still helping on the game, it had already started the anti-Konami agenda, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Konami, you're fucking high. You need to quit. Okay, first of all, fuck them. I wanted Silent Hills, goddammit.
Yes.
I'm not a big Metal Gear fan. I wanted
I've never played a Silent Hill game.
Me either.
And I wanted Silent Hills bad.
So excited
they
for that.
They had my money.
What I want to have happen is for them to sell off all of their titles to good, humane gaming companies.
I don't think those exist, honestly. There's always shit coming out. They're the worst. But.
Yeah. Well, anywhere's like freaking like seriously, it's a goddamn concentration camp over at Konami headquarters. Seriously, fuck you, Konami. I wish that they would go away, but then I also like bitching about Konami, so I'm kind of torn.
Yeah, I know. It's like without the people suffering, we don't have a show.
Yeah, that's a good point. We never go away, Konami.
We don't have a show as it is, but.
So, this next one was really puzzling to me, Ron, because it kind of makes me sad.
I literally said, what the fuck, when I first watched
So we have reported multiple times on what has actually kind of become part of like a staple of our own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
It was...
And we have praised those games. You know, the genius behind them, the way, you know, that they set a mood and a tone... The way they use the environment against you, everything. We've praised those games to no end.
And then what they
did... And here's the end. Here comes the but. And that is... What the series? What's the name of the dude who makes them? Scott Cawthon.
It's the same dude making it.
Yes.
And my first reaction was, we need to come up with a new term besides... jumping the shark and nuking the fridge, because that is exactly what it looks like happened with this game. But, so we went from a horror survival game to... Jesus, just I can't even explain it, dude. Just like, go to YouTube and search...
We went to Care Bears is what we went to.
We go to Five Nights at Freddy's World teaser on YouTube and just... You'll probably find it. He not only... Okay, first of all, let's back up a little bit. He announced this Five Nights at Freddy's World, which was going to be a form of an RPG. He was very vague on what he was even making. And then this trailer comes out, and I'm like, alright, let's load this up. Surely, he couldn't fuck it up that bad. And then, like, the first thing he says, like, you remember them when they were scary. And you shat your pants on your YouTube channel while you were playing it. Well, now they're cute. And then, like you said, they look like fucking Care Bears.
Yeah.
It's like...
with a name like Five Nights at Freddy's World, you could have at least gone Westworld with it. I mean, come on.
There was no reason to not continue like a horror.
He just decided he was making too much money.
What it is...
It's Final Fantasy style gameplay with Care Bears. Is what it is.
But what makes no sense is he could have continued the horror aspect of it in an RPG form. We've talked multiple times. Why not make it from the perspective of the creatures?
You know, in the back of my mind, every time that we played those games, I was just like, if only they were cuter, I wouldn't be shitting my pants right now.
I'm out of words to say. I just... Because it's kind of... Okay. Where was the game... that we have talked about where you play as the other side, you play as the creatures? That would have been really fun.
That would have,
because who doesn't want to kill children?
Seriously, it should have been Westworld style, but you're the monsters.
It would have been perfect.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah,
we'd be excited.
It'd be like Jurassic World, but you're the dinosaurs, basically. Why isn't that a game?
I think they've tried on like numerous occasions to make Jurassic Park games, but they kept making them bad.
Yeah.
So
the most successful is probably the Park Builder on iOS and Android.
All right, well, we're going to end the podcast on a more positive note because that was just kind of depressing, and I'm sad. I genuinely liked those Five Nights at Freddy's games. Like, I mean, yeah, they're more of almost like a party game, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we had a lot of fun recording ourselves.
Yeah, they were a blast.
Fucking Scott Cawthorn, is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we're not going to be able to remember his name.
Scott C.
Fucking
names tonight have been hard, Jeff.
Yeah, it's usually we record the podcast first. You could tell by how it just exhausted we sound that we are out of
Dark
gas.
Souls made us its bitch and wore us out.
And we laughed so hard at me dying over and over again that like it physically pained me to continue, but we did. And we're going to end on a positive note, and that is that Army of Darkness, the end of the I guess they would be considered like the Evil Dead trilogy, but it's each one's its own thing, so I don't even know if they consider it like a trilogy.
Franchise.
But, yeah, the end of the franchise originally. Was it Cinefix who did the Mad Max one we talked about a
they
few
have
episodes ago?
several videos that they've done this with.
I need to go and watch more of them because they did what they did with Mad Max, the like 8-bit/16-bit treatment they gave to Army of Darkness, which I haven't watched yet, but I
want that Fury Road game.
Dude, right? Like that they did a AAA Mad Max game, and that 16-bit one looks so much better. So I encourage people to go on and watch all of the 8-bit video game treatments they've done to. I think they did Pulp Fiction was one you talked about. So
yeah,
definitely go check them out. If not, if you only watch one, watch the Mad Max one because that one's fan-freaking-tastic.
Yes, it was.
And I want that game so bad. Just make it somebody. Just make it somebody. Also, while we're talking Evil Dead, if you haven't watched Ash vs. Evil Dead yet, go watch that shit now. It was amazing.
Was it?
It's cheating because it's such an established property, but just as far as like first episodes go of anything, it's one of my favorite first episodes.
The pilot was not piloty.
It is what I love about it, and you'll notice it when you watch it.
Bruce Campbell being Bruce Campbell, right?
Bruce Campbell is being Bruce Campbell, and it's still fucking awesome as Ash. But they took elements of Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, and made it like an amalgam of everything.
Nice.
And it's fan-freaking-tastic, so definitely go check that out. And I think that's actually going to draw our podcast to a close, and we appreciate you if you struggled through our podcast this far, because it has been a struggle for us for sure. But if you found us via Stitcher or iTunes, go ahead and leave us a review. We are also on the social medias. We are on TWBE Podcast, at TWBE Podcast on Twitter, and Facebook.com/TWBE Podcast. We throw everything up onto the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe there. We just recently wrapped up all of our Halloween week stuff. We have a top 5 horror movie pod that we did, and a few Let's Plays. If you only have time to watch one, watch Alien Isolation.
Yes.
Because there was maximum butt clenching, as my friend who watched the video pointed out.
And speaking of Let's Plays, we have an ongoing series called Nerdy Pathetic Casuals, where that's our Let's Plays series. That's all up on YouTube. Right now, basically, it's mostly Dark Souls sequentials. We just wrapped up part 10, as we've mentioned several times throughout this episode of the podcast. But we've also done Transformers Devastation. If you have any interest at all, even if you don't, because Jeff here has zero interest in Transformers and he wants to buy that game. So
it was awesome.
Definitely check out that video. We had no idea what the fuck was going on since we were busy recording the whole time, but it was glorious. So I want to see more games done that way in that art style. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do because it's...
I want a Gundam game in that style.
You automatically get positive reaction.
Yeah.
because
Fan service.
it's fan service, and then if you do a good job with the gameplay and everything, it works, twofold. Also, be on the lookout. We are in the next couple of weeks going to be doing multiple Battlefront videos for Star Wars.
Since you're buying that the day it comes out, pretty much buy that and immediately drive over here. We're throwing that up as fast as we can.
For sure, yeah, we cannot wait. Well, we thank you for checking out our podcast this week. I am Jeff.
And I'm Ron.
We will catch you next time.